Welcome back to the Other Football Show here on Extra Sports 1300. Ryan Kaufman now joined in studio by the Ohle Brothers, who have a really cool new product to help the youngster, the not-so-youngster, or even those who are trying to hone their skills in the world of soccer. Let's start with your guys' background, the machine part of it.
We were lucky enough, actually. Our parents owned a German deli and restaurant, one of the largest ones here in Colorado. It has closed since, unfortunately. But because of that, we had the connections with the German clubs. And we ended up, of course, playing for a German club from a very young age. That happened to be, I believe it was 6 or 7, as when we actually started playing.
5 or 6.
Okay. He was 5. I was 6.
Right.
Needless to say, we started playing as youth ball. We loved it. There was probably at that time here in Colorado, maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 teams. So we played every team twice. We had a great time. And that's where, of course, the club, being the Denver Kickers, they had us, of course, joining the adults as quickly as possible. Myself, I made the adult program probably, I think I started training with him 14. I actually started playing with him, and that's full-time in the league, 15. So, in fact, I couldn't drive to practice. I couldn't drive anywhere, but they got me to practice. So, thank you, Mom and Dad. So.
And it was interesting with the Kickers. The Denver Kickers was not just a German, it was a German club, but it was not a German-based soccer organization. We had everybody from Italy, Poland, Nigeria. I mean, it was amazing that we were able to mesh with, world-class soccer players at that time, because Denver did not really have a professional presence here, anything like we have now. I mean, they were sporadic. But to play for the Kickers was an honor, and they're still in existence. Our friend Justin also played for the Kickers 20 years later, and so that's where our background came from. And again, it was you had to basically have an ethnic background to play soccer in Colorado at that time. There was the English team was Aurora. The Kickers, of course, was the German team. There was a Polish team, a Yugoslavian, a Peruvian. And so that was your core of soccer in Denver.
There's always a light bulb aha moment, right? So what was it for you guys?
Well, I got to give all the credit to my brother, Bobby. And he is a coach's coach. I mean, he sees things. and I don't. I mean, he is incredible when it comes to seeing what players need.
The nice part about it is with the Kickers, as I say, I was playing with on their adult team or the A team. I was also became their youth coach or the director of coaching for youth. I did that for 4 or 5 years, something like that. Then started my own club. In doing so, though, I was running my own soccer camps, the Colorado soccer camps. I was also, of course, being the director and everything else. So I suddenly kind of got a little bit burnt out. I mean, I was doing my job, no big deal, and ended up actually more or less retiring from soccer for a few years. I got hired by a large beer company here in Colorado. From there, though, I started missing soccer. I mean, there's something inside me that says I will be part of soccer for probably the rest of my life now. And by doing so, I went out and I was watching my old club train, watching them training the kids, watch them use drills that I was using at the same time. Probably the most unimpressive part is one that I saw was that they stood the kids 10 yards apart. These were the little tiny guys then. They were maybe 10 yards apart, kicking the ball back and forth. There was no point in it. I mean, they were chasing the ball more than ever. They seemed to be using both. I know that the coach was saying use both feet, walking around trying to say, you do it this way, you do it this, trying to, and he had no control over that practice. None whatsoever. So I started off thinking, okay, well, there's got to be something better. We got to see something work. And, then I started thinking back when my dad, an old story happened that I was playing on the A team, and one of my old coaches came up to me and he said, hey, you can't jump, and I was a short little guy. You got to remember, I was still in high school. And he had came up to me and he says, you know what, if you want to keep your position, you better, start working on that. So the next thing I know, my dad actually, he's the one that came up with the first training aid. And now, honestly, it was nothing but a bunch of nuts, bolts, and it was a piece of rebar you would not believe. But in 4 weeks, we were playing in at Sheridan High School, actually. And a ball came across the goal. I jumped up. I was going to clear the soccer ball. I hit the underneath side of the crossbar with my shoulder. So after that, the coach decided, well, you can actually jump. So knowing this, I thought, geez, here, that was a training aid. I didn't even know that it was going to be as important as it is. Mm-hmm. Well, now the training aid that we have here works on basic technique first. The touch on a soccer ball. We work on timing. We work on strength, quickness. It's all there. It's all there in this particular, the training aid that we have. But going back to that, I started thinking, and of course I was working graveyard, which meant that I stayed awake all night, or I tried to. And in doing so, I worked a lot on that. And I had, used a lot of, I saw a lot of things out there on the machinery out there. And I said, geez, this could work here. This could work. Well, short story is, I called my brother over one morning and I said, look at this now. And it looked like a bunch of Tinker toys.
I thought he was nuts. I seriously thought he was nuts.
Well, he comes over and tells me I'm nuts. And I told him to kick it around. Of course, he broke it. And so I said, okay, well, I got to make some kind of a prototype. So I did. I made it out of metal. Everything started to work. Got the base air. Everything's taken care of. Now we got one of them, as far as I'm concerned, the best product in the world. This is incredible.
If you could describe a little bit the makeup of it and what makes it such an effective tool.
Okay, as you will be able to tell here later, the soccer ball goes around in a circle. It forces you to use your right foot as well as your left foot. And just as you do that, you can talk about the foot positioning, how to hold your foot right, your body positioning. A lot of kids, balance is really terrible for some of these kids. So we work on that. You've got everything that concentration is incredible too. You ask the kids, for example, at practice, kick the soccer ball back and forth between, maybe 10 times. Well, they're chasing the ball, of course, half the time. Mm-hmm. On this, you can get probably, 40, 50 touches, maybe more in a minute.
Yeah.
In a minute. You get more touches in a minute than you will in a whole soccer game. Yeah, and that's absolutely where, things came, and as it continued, we started working on more advanced, and until the point that now we have got, as drills that go from levels 1 to 100 drills. We've got levels 1 to 10. Everything is coming together very well for us.
So you have this product, and you guys fine-tune it and make it ready to bring to the world. Where do you start?
Actually, what we have done is we've gone all over the world now. I mean, really, we've been to China. We've got the Canadian people now very interested in it. We have talked to our best friend, which he's absolutely incredible. In fact, sitting here, and this is Justin Rose, and he's between him and, that's where we met him for the Colorado Cup. I mean, it's an incredible product. He knows it. He helped us get it to Germany, and this is where, things are really, really starting to happen.
Justin, if you wouldn't mind, I want to bring you in. You brought it over to Germany looking for them to say this is ridiculous and this won't work. You got a different reaction.
Ryan, it's exactly right. After the Colorado Cup, just so happened that we met through Jimmy's daughter, which I've known her for a long time. And sure enough, we sat down and they showed me this product. And as you know, a big part of the Colorado Cup was having the Mines coaches teach the players, the kids.
Right.
It's all about youth development. And, I'm still a big fan of the sport. And after seeing this tool, I was like, you guys are onto something here. This is fantastic. But I get excited really easily. So I just said, you know what, let me just take a couple to Germany. And I got some people, as you know, Mainz, Eintracht. They would for sure tell me right away that this is, how they feel about it, because Germans are pretty direct. And not that I wanted them to have anything bad about it, but I was just really curious. If they could pass that test, then I knew these guys, which they have known for a long time already, that this is a really awesome product. And sure enough, Mainz loves it. Eintracht loves it. And I took it to my son's team, who U7s, and you could just see the difference when they start using it, how quickly they could see their weaknesses and make them strengths, and how these German coaches were very open, because it's all, for Germany, it's about developing players. There's here in the U.S., there's politics involved, this and that. In Germany, it's about, doing the right thing. So, I had good news for these guys, and I said, hey, you know what? This is a huge opportunity here in Germany. And since then, we've been on a path forward to hone all the stuff they've done till now and make it more accessible via the web. And, the German approach of having a system of, yes, congratulations, you have the soccer machine. Now, how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And like Bobby mentioned, here are the moves that you are able to master to make sure, because, these guys are soccer nuts, and, we have an idea of how soccer should improve. The moves necessary to get you to a certain point where you are fundamentally strong with the ball.
Justin, in the same sentence, talked about his son, who's young, and he's talking about a team that's playing at the highest level of the sport in the world.
Right.
And it's the same machine.
Well, and this, like you said, it's people will ask us, what are the age appropriate? And from my grandson is 2. And no, he doesn't know how yet to do the technique, but at 2, at 3 is about the place to start him, because they do know left and right, and get them kicking all the way up to professional. We have I was coaching middle school, and my daughter, who Justin just mentioned, coaches. One of her parents, who had never played soccer, bought one for her 5-year-old child, and the mom works out of the house doing phone conferencing. The kid's off to school and that, and she's on the phone doing a phone conference, and she said, and this is a woman who had never kicked a ball, barely, and she said, I was on that soccer machine for over an hour, not even knowing it, just back and forth, back and forth. It's so addictive for anybody that gets on it. It's and the thing is, it's aerobic, it's touch, it's so many people will basically train on, not, I won't say useless, but train on things that don't have a purpose. I think with the Ohle Sports Soccer Machine, there's a purpose, and it is, number 1, balance, number 2, left and right, and balance is so important in everything we do. Even as we get a little older, balance is very important.
Obviously, this is not a machine that is a behemoth that you have to lug everywhere. I mean, you can literally have it in your living room.
Yeah, it's 12 pounds.
Yeah.
A total of 12 pounds. It's amazing that the kids can tote it around. We're in the process of making backpacks so that it is totally portable for a child to take it to and from school or to and from practice. And, it's going, I think it's going to be part of a soccer training regiment. And we don't use it for hours and hours at a time with a team. You use it as a part of your training, and like Bobby so often will say, okay, we want you to use this as homework. Okay, you're having a problem with the inside of your foot, or you're having a problem with your traps. All right, you take this home now and you work on it. You work on it for 200, 300 kicks or more, and you're going to find that takes no time at all. I've got parents at the bottom that I've coached the kids, and the parents will not let the kids watch TV without this sitting right in front of the TV.
The other thing that we want to comment about is we want to start these kids as early as possible. Jimmy commented about his 2-year-old grandson. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter who just turned 4. I take her now, and I will work her, and what we do is we may only get 5 minutes in, but it doesn't matter. Because the things that I'm working with her on right now, one particular drill, and we will be coming up with, we call that our
we haven't
sessions.
Titled them all yet. So.
But needless to say, it's a matter, though, of teaching the kids, number 1, first of all, you have to teach them that it's a drill. Second of all, then you go into teaching them that what foot to kick with, whether it's a right foot, left foot, and then what portion of the foot to kick it with. I may be holding her hands through part of it, but I guarantee you she's using the correct part of the foot. Later on, though, I have her touch a cone. She has to look up real fast. Now, all of a sudden, she's learning peripheral vision. So now she's touched the cone, looks up. Oh, my gosh, peripheral vision. The next part is this machine doesn't stop. In other words, it will continue going around.
Right.
Now she has to time her attack on that soccer ball. So she has to time her run, time the touch. So if she just blasts it, she's going to notice it comes back and kicks her, hits her, and how that works out. But she has to decide whether to chase it or not to chase it, wait for it or whatever. So you've taught basically the basics of soccer, how to connect with a soccer ball, peripheral vision, and there is drills to do it.
Kind of getting back to why this is so special. And when we did the Colorado Cup, one thing, Ryan, we talked a lot about is being local, being proud of being born in Colorado and bringing such amazing soccer to Colorado. And with these guys here being born, and, all three of us played for the Denver Kickers. And I feel a little bit bad because this guy next to me won 3 national titles, or was it 4? And I'm 41, and I still remember how special that was with those group of guys. And that's what I feel here with these guys. We're very proud to be from Colorado, and for them to create such an amazing product and to team up with me to help this go global, but really get this in the hands of every kid, girl or boy, no matter what age, and teach the right fundamentals of soccer, but have fun while learning, right? And to know that this is for 2-3-year-olds, to a Victor Rolf, right, who we had on the show last week, who you'll see on your YouTube channel, what he's able to do with that machine and how hard it was for him, or how challenging, let's put it that way.
Right. And
that's the beauty of this, know, and this is why this makes it so special to be here with you, because we started this together, and now we got the Ohle Brothers, the soccer machine, and how we're going to tie this into helping Colorado kids get a German soccer experience in one way or the other.
Where do we go? How do we get it?
You can go to ohlesport.com, and that's OHLE.
Okay.
Sport.com. It's and it's interesting. We were at one of the shows one time, and they said, "Hey, that's a great name for that product." And they said, "Where'd you come up with that?" I said, "Dad." But no, Bobby and I, and our sister has been very involved in the background, and she's been a very integral part of helping us keep us on track, because we're both a little scattered when it comes.
Right.
We're typical soccer players. One thing I wanted to bring up when we're coaching kids, they always told you to go to a wall. And bounce it against the wall so you get more touch. How many times did you go up against a wall and you kick with your weak foot?
None.
You kick with what's comfortable and what comes back, so you don't have to chase it. With this machine, you kick it as many times with your strong foot as you do with your weak foot, because you're passing to yourself. So, and it's so funny. We can take a person that has played soccer for 20 years, and you can pinpoint. I can tell you, you're right foot. You're right-footed, because your left foot, you don't have it positioned right. You don't have, and you can see that on the field with professionals. Who is right-footed? Messi is a left-footed player. So I think that's one of the keys to overcome a lot of the obstacles for a new upcoming player, is to eliminate the problem of not being versatile. And with this, it just, the muscle memory. It's all about the muscle memory. And if you have as good of muscle memory with your left foot as you do with your right, and your body movements are all, able to interact the way they should. I mean, I was a right-footed player, but I'm 62 now, and I wish I was 20 years younger so I could, actually go out there and put into use what I've learned from this, because we put a lot of time on it, doing our tournaments and demos and that kind of stuff. And it's just, I feel so confident with my left foot now that, it's amazing. I never thought I would have that level, But, so, at any rate.
I think the one thing that really has, probably made a kind of biggest impact on me was that now it's becoming kind of a grassroots, we've got a program here that could be a very, very much so the very basics for any soccer player. And I think Justin says it very well. And I think, I'll let him talk about, when he took it to Germany. I mean, this, meeting with players, meeting with coaches, meeting with people over there. And in fact, that's where Jimmy and I are on our way to here within a couple of weeks. So we are very much looking forward to that and meeting these people and, being able to do what we can with it. So we'll see just what happens. But again, make sure, though, if you're going online, it's Ohle Sport.
OHLESPORT.com. Thank you so much for coming in and showing it.
Well, we really do appreciate coming on, and it's always exciting to to brag a little,
Yeah.
and come out here and it's one thing I got to throw in. This has been a amazing journey from me telling him he's nuts with that first prototype to what we have done and accomplished up to this point.
We'll take a break and have more of the other football show next here on Extra Sports 1300. Here on Extra Sports 1300. Here on Extra Sports 1300.